Hello everyone, I'm Broffy1322 and this video serves as an update to the fastest muscle cars video where I show the best fully upgraded muscle cars in terms of lap time. For all the information you need about this series, check the original muscle cars video, but otherwise let's see where the new Clique and Impaler fall into that list. So they're both actually together in the overall listing, sitting in 7th and 8th places overall for the muscle cars class. That is obviously taking into account the 3 muscle cars that we got from the Arena War DLC that are now in the top 3 spots. So take those into account with obviously these listings. But the Impaler is just ahead of the Dominator GTX with a 108.436, which isn't too bad. Obviously the Impaler and the Clique have these new advanced handling flags that we've seen from the Arena War cars. All of the drip feeding cars will, except for the Schlag and GT, and obviously it makes them very bouncy and very unstable, but the Clique and the Impaler aren't as affected as say something like the Italy GTO, but they are still somewhat affected. Now the Dominator GTX is one that was badly affected from the previous iteration of advanced handling flags, which not only made the cars bouncy but also slowed them down in terms of going over bumps, so at least they're not affected like that. But the driving experience of these certainly isn't great. It's not as good as it could be. Having said that though, the Clique in 7th place, even though it's only 1 position ahead of the Impaler, is more than a second per lap quicker than it and puts it into that spot of basically top 4 raceable cars. So it gets a lap time of 106.868, which is it's only 0.02 of a second slower than the Sabre Turbo Custom in 6th, and then it's only a 1/10 of a second slower than the Pisswasser Dominator and the Yosemite, which are in 5th and 4th now, which are still the top vehicles that you can use in muscle car races. So the Clique is right up there. It is actually a competitive vehicle, although you know it is still going to be unpredictable over the bumps, and you might go over one bump on one lap and you'll be fine, and then you go over it again on the next lap and it'll just spin out. Nothing you can do about it. But when you just looking at how it can perform, it is actually pretty impressive. And you know, there's probably going to be some tracks where the Clique can actually do better than most of the muscle cars, and certainly it can be competitive. You know, it's right up there in terms of competitiveness, at least when it comes to ability to get around the corners. And it's interesting that, you know, we're seeing a comparison here between the Clique and the Yosemite. The Yosemite is obviously the #1 muscle car to use in races when you take out the Arena War vehicles, which you can't use in races. But I would say that the Clique is pretty much a Yosemite. You know, it feels very, very similar. It's kind of like a Yosemite, but with these advanced handling flags that make them bouncy. Like I said, then these 2 vehicles, the Clique and the Impaler, aren't really being affected as much as say the Italy GTO when it comes to these bouncy flags. So they are a little bit slower, but not really too much. And I think if you were to remove the advanced handling flags from the Clique, its improvement in lap time wouldn't really be all that much, but it probably would still make it, you know, around the Yosemite pace, because they're very, very similar in the way that they drive. For muscle cars, they've got pretty good traction, pretty good acceleration. They're just not quite there in terms of the top speed when it comes to competing with the Pisswasser Dominator, as we'll see in the top speed testing video for these vehicles in a short while. But in general, even the Impaler is slightly off the pace, but still a lot better than all of the, you know, older generation of muscle cars. And the Clique is right up there. There's basically a top 4 when it comes to muscle car races, and the Clique is part of that top 4 now. So that's pretty much it for this video. Remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, subscribe for more, and consider supporting on Patreon or becoming a member on YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.